Thank you for tuning into the Pre-Patch Podcast. And check out these patch notes.
And this is a great segue. And so the one places that you want to fucking injure and the one thing that you want to hurt are fucking indie games, Unity. So you're going to sit there and say that, hey, we're going to raise our fucking prices and we're going to now do a per install fee. I'm just saying that like indie developers are the backbone. And then you fucking, you decide you're going to turn around and fuck them. Like,
this is a major burden to all
Unity
indie devs.
Unity is huge for not even just indie devs, but like Unity is used for quite a bit of like actual like pretty large named games, dude.
A lot of
so
shit.
like to then pull this kind of bullshit and I saw some stuff in I can't remember if it was Twitter or if it was on in our chat someplace, but it was interesting. Like the owner of Unity, the CEO of Unity, I guess, has sold his shares, sold his shares before they made this announcement.
Insider trading.
That is insane, dude. And that technically that's illegal. So I'm curious about how that's gonna.
He's big fucked.
Yeah, I'm curious how that's gonna happen.
Do you know who that guy is? John Riccatello. That's the former CEO
of EA, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, none of this is surprising coming from this guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just crazy, man. Like,
but to put it in perspective, Unity engine is used in, if you're not familiar, it's a gaming engine used by a lot of developers, mainly indie, but there's games like Genshin Impact,
we have an image of
Pokemon
that, right?
Go.
I can't show the image. It's too big.
Hearthstone, like a bunch of like
I got you.
Not small games. Beat Saber, like
I got you.
A bunch of games.
We're posting the image up in chat if you guys want to see like just a list of all the like a good amount of games. At least.
That's still small compared to like the massive amount of
it's
games.
It's not the full amount, but that's like the mainstayers. Like that's the main names right now that are out currently that use Unity. So
yeah. Dude, I mean, just looking at one of them, Rust. Look how big that game is.
Yeah, Rust 2. Right. It's getting fucked where it's getting delayed.
Dude, I mean, not even just that. Like Among Us.
Yeah, Among Us.
So we haven't even talked about what
Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, man,
crazy.
And all these games that are under fire right now because they're running Unity are they're saying that they're going to be delisting their games. Rightfully so, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that is huge.
That is crazy.
And to Bill's point, as much as a proponent I am of digital, I'm not a proponent, but I am understanding the digitalization of games. Guess what? This is one of those times where if it gets delisted, that game is gone until they want to bring it back out. If you have physical copies, it's not gone.
Yeah.
Not gone. If you purchased it, you still have it.
Keep it.
I know that, but what I'm saying
you just can't purchase it,
but
you don't have it.
But the physical version of said game can be bought, rebought, traded, whatever. You can't on a digital.
Yeah.
So.
And never mind.
It's the other crazy thing that happened with this is that this fucking company decided they want to try to come out and clarify the goddamn controversy of the new pricing model.
As if we didn't understand the bullshit they were trying to pull.
It's not like, it's not an apology like, okay, whoa, we fucked up. Like, this is a bad move. Like, we're just going to take it down. You're like, no. You don't, let me gaslight you for a second. You just don't understand like why you're upset. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And then when they did this, which we do, the Pre-Patch Podcast does not condone any types of act of violence against anybody. I don't know if you guys saw, they had a bomb threat. They had a bomb threat to Unity shut down today because and send everybody home because of a potential
don't do that. Please don't do that.
That's not the answer.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
But that's not the answer to this.
Doing bomb threats or trying to hurt somebody is not going to make them change whatever they're doing. It's just gonna piss people off or embolden people to actually go through with something like that. Like don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I work with one of my coworkers at the hospital that I work at. Actually, does indie game development on the side. They're working on
we know a couple of people.
That work. Yeah. So I was talking to them today because they were heated because they were using Unity.
Shit.
They luckily for them, they were early enough in like the hard development of the game that they have the ability to swap to a different engine and not lose too much of their progress. They're extremely lucky in that regard.
Yeah, but a lot of these developers aren't.
A ton of people are not. And even if Unity does come out here later in the week or start of next week and backtrack on this, they backpedal everything, they go back to their old
They
price
have to,
model.
I think
man.
they're gonna have to.
They
Yeah,
have
there's
to.
there's no
They're going to
there's
have
no
to.
way that there's no
But-
way that they can continue with it and
Yeah.
not just get an entire backlash of the community, the gaming
Right.
community in
I
general.
speculate we're seeing a back pedal in like a week tops.
But even if they do, like from what this person was telling me and a few other people in the development space that they were talking to, they have no interest in working with Unity.
Yeah, they don't.
At
Yeah,
any
this you're
point.
done.
I don't doubt it. Yeah,
this
this
have
is a
to
huge
earn.
hit.
The good grace of
And
that community by
This-
simply doing this.
Epic is over there fucking licking their chops, homeboy.
Yeah,
They're-
Unreal Engine is
yeah.
looking real good. Or like, there's a ton of other development engines that indie devs have access to.
And I was just watching a video today too, comparing like the two engines and the takes and everything. And like Epic, their Unreal Engine, they like quote developers up to like $1 million in profits of revenue until they actually even start taking a cut of like 5%, which is still
Yeah, it's a balloon loan
a pretty
payment.
modest.
It's
Yeah,
all it is.
it's not bad compared to what this is going to be doing and literally chopping developers up and taking them for everything they own. Like,
And the only thing that I worry about with this as well is like I already have an issue with Unreal Engine and the fucking draw that it takes for developers to go to Epic, because like once they're on the Epic Game Store, they don't have to pay that, right? If they publish through the Epic Game Store, they don't have to pay their registration fees, I think is what it is.
something like that.
I think they still have to pay their fees when it comes down to like the amount of games that they sell, but that's a huge fucking thing for like indie developers, and that's just gonna I'm afraid that's just gonna be like even more fucking games that
The
go
one thing I found really funny about
Epic
this
exclusive.
was, can you like, how do you think the talks are going at like Nintendo HQ and Sony HQ and Xbox HQ?
It's a good point, because
they're
lot of
going to be
games on
fronting the
Nintendo-
bill for a lot of this.
Yeah,
if
a lot
this
of
goes
games on
through.
Nintendo actually use Unity. I saw a post
lot of
today that was
publishers
like
are going to be fronting the bill.
I saw a post today that one of their I don't know if it's the most recent Pokemon game or if it's one of their more recent ones.
It was Brilliant
released.
Diamond.
Was Brilliant Diamond is ran
Yeah.
off of Unity, and that from what I was reading, like that thing as soon as this comes out, they're paying boku amounts of money.
It starts
Yeah.
January 1st.
Yeah.
I could see the big
bill is
three.
the end of the month.
I could see
crazy,
the big
dude.
three like
Yeah.
lodging a lawsuit against Unity.
And
Honestly, if they
the
can word.
the downloads, the threshold of downloaded copies and or revenue made, it's I think either or to qualify to for these fees to go into effect, is retroactive, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
So
I'm pretty sure.
it's even if you have your game released now, it's retroactive, and those thresholds are met by January
that's-
1st. That's you're going
that's
to be
why-
by the end of January.
That's why Cult of the Lamb is having such an issue with it, is because like as soon as January 1st comes out, like they're getting hit with a a huge fucking check essentially.
The end of the month, but yeah. And it's just crazy, man. And not even just like the games that are you know, people are buying, but the games that are on Game Pass, that are getting, millions of downloads because they're on the front page. Or there was something that came out, how like Epic, they do their free games, like monthly free games. There was one developer that they had their game up on there that got over 7 million downloads, and said that what he would be speculated to have to pay in fees is more than he's ever even made in revenue.
Made off the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and at all
Motherfucker.
everything. It's ridiculous.
Wow. I want to meet the person that came up with this plan. I want to meet that person
You
just so I can
you
be
wanna
like,
meet John
no,
Riccatello.
well, it's not even like, okay, it's not even the CEO like that. That's like saying we're gonna put all of the blame of Activision on Bobby, right? We punched Bobby
What,
pretty
can't we?
hard. Okay, you
Sorry.
can, but like it's not just the CEO that makes this. This goes through like CEO, COO. Like there are different
No,
levels of checks and balances.
What I saw is that there was a lot of checks and balances of over like a month time that this plan was going into effect, and there was many people in the company of Unity that were like guys,
That's
what are
the
we
problem.
doing? Like
that's the problem with
this
these
does not
these
seem like a
businesses.
good idea. Like, what is this? This is just going to burn bridges on every front.
That's the biggest issue is like what. So okay, so you have an issue. You work at Unity, like you're not really maybe you're a little bit higher up than just a normal employee, right? You work at Unity, you're maybe a part of the management, or you're like a CFO, CE, so something along those lines, right? What are you gonna say? You're gonna go to the CEO and be like, hey, this isn't a very good idea.
I mean, if you
We
work
should
within
not do
if you
this.
work within a good company, yeah, that should be the conversation piece that is happening.
I mean,
It should. But
yeah. So I don't know. It's fucking wild. It's fucking wild.
Thank you for checking out the patch notes. If you enjoyed this small selection from our podcast, come join us every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the full unfiltered pre-patch podcast. And check out our past shows on anchor.fm/prepatch podcast.